Here we go. Hey, everything on 3. Number 3. Wait on 1. Oh. Wait on 3. 1, 2, 3. Wait. Hey, next up from that. Eyes on 3. Everything on 3 and 1. Everything.
You are now listening to the Fantasy Football Bros Podcast.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Fantasy Football Bros Podcast. It's your boy. All
I do is win.
And today I am only joined by, to my right, the no nickname, no nonsense.
It doesn't matter what your name is.
What's going on, Chaz? What's up, everybody?
Adam?
How we doing?
We're doing good. Jay is not with us today. Don't know why. We just he didn't ever answer the text.
We haven't heard from him, so we're here anyway. But
we're all sulking, obviously.
Yes, we're all very, very upset today.
Well, let's get right into it, Adam.
How about them Bills, baby? Let's go. Hey, let's
How about him? Yeah, ring the gong. It was a disaster.
Yes.
It was
epic,
heartbreaking. It was just, you know what? Now that I've had a data, I'm not even mad.
Oh, I'm
not.
I'm mad because I saw it coming.
I'm upset because we didn't even put up a fight.
Yeah, no.
I would have been so okay with losing to the Bengals if it was like 40-37. Actually, not even. It didn't have to be 40-37. It could have been 27-25 or 19-17 or whatever. There was just no fight in that game last night.
I figure this will be funny to go back and look at my my tweet or my whatever posts from the game.
Oh boy,
this would be fun. Okay, so I'm gonna start off.
Was this during the game?
We're gonna start off just before the game. So after the Dolphins game last week, right after we won, and I'll show you too here. So January 15th, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, read that quote out.
We had trouble with Skyler. Bengals beat us by 10+.
Okay. So that was before last week, right? So my first tweet of the game.
During the game.
During the game.
Okay.
No, just before.
Oh, just before.
Just before.
Sorry, you said that.
Not watching today. It's going to be brutal. That's what I said. And then I said, but at 3:16, I said, Chase will have 150 and 3 touchdowns. Leslie will not adjust. So I was wrong on that call, half of it.
Yeah, he was pretty close.
And then I said, at 3:28, remember, guys, we're all Bengals fans. A player died on the field, and the Bengals are like, yeah, cool, we'll stop playing. So let's root for them, because I'm sick of all the people saying how great the Bengals are just for stopping a game where somebody died. So that was pissing me off. Then I said, okay, I'm watching. If I'm going to talk shit, I better be able to explain. I turn it on, and I see Josh doing everything as usual.
Shocker.
Next one. They only have 4 backup offensive linemen in. You can't expect a pass rush. Maybe if they had 5, we're out. Third and four and an 8-yard cushion on Jamar Chase. You've got to be kidding me.
Yeah, that was a brutal play.
At least all you Bengals.
But that's how they played him all day.
At least all you Bengals and the chosen one, Joe Burrow fans, are happy now.
I mean, yeah, of course they are.
The NFL is salivating for the 2 chosen ones next week.
I have to point this out because, of course, Twitter's all over the place with this game and how people feel. And the Bengals, did you see what the Bengals tweeted out?
Which one?
Because Joe Burrow's interview last night?
No, what did they say?
He said, better get those refunds ready. Well, the Bengals tweeted it out. And everybody is so upset. Oh, they're classless. They're this. Oh, but we were just praising them.
Yeah.
2 weeks ago.
No, they
3
have.
weeks ago.
They have every right to say that because
Absolutely.
they fucking stomped us.
They beat the hell out of us.
They fucking stomped us.
It was a bad game overall. It was our offensive line looked like garbage. We had no run game. Josh Allen had to do everything as usual.
As usual.
You know, it was just, and the defense, they didn't have an answer.
Well, Leslie Frazier does not adjust ever. I've been saying that since week 3 of the Fantasy Football Bros podcast. Leslie Frazier never adjusts. Never adjusts.
He doesn't, and it was bad. It was evident, and we were exposed.
Here's my last tweet.
To put up 10 points in our hometown in the snow, where everybody's like, oh, bring the Miami Dolphins when it snows and this and that. Barely beat them last week. Now here we are, and we get exactly what we asked for, and we didn't even show up against the Bengals.
Here's my last tweet. This one was controversial. I got into it with some people on this one. All right, see ya. Here's my last tweet, and I want your opinion on this message here. Ready? It says, "Newsflash, suckers! It wasn't a great season. There is nothing to be proud of. That might be a little overreaction, but this is how I was feeling at the time. They won't, and then this is where it gets real.
You're right to your opinion.
This is where it gets real, though. They won't make any changes, but you'll unload all your money on merch and tickets and hope for next year. That's okay. They'll build us a nice stadium with no roof in the same area where there's nothing to do because they don't care about winning. They just want money." And I really felt that way about the time. And did they make any changes today with the coaching staff?
No,
they didn't.
None whatsoever.
Because they're not going to.
No, they're not going to. We all know it. You know, everybody's like, "Oh, the NFL, they really need to step in." And when a coach has an interview, the day before a game, it'll fuck with his head. No, it won't.
No, that has nothing to do. Ken Dorsey sucked all year.
These coaches have interviews constantly during the season, after the season.
Yeah.
You know, the only thing you're not allowed to do is meet with them in person. Before they're out of the playoffs.
Yeah, I can tell you that Ken Dorsey's half-hour interview did not make us lose this game.
I agree. Well, his play calling for 3.5 hours did.
He's just a garbage
But
play
not only
caller.
him, our offense couldn't execute the shitty plays called.
True.
Our defense couldn't stop the very simple plays that were designed for the Bengals offense.
You guys used to give me flack for saying the Bengals run a simple offense, and I granted they murdered us. But when you were watching that game, was there anything crazy going on?
No, they didn't do anything out of the ordinary.
Absolutely, we actually had a little more flash.
Let me tell you, our offensive line gave up so much pressure against Josh Allen on a 3-man rush.
Ridiculous.
3 guys rushed most of the game. They didn't blitz.
Well, they blitzed a lot of corners.
1 corner had a sack.
But they blitzed a lot of corners. They did blitz. They were setting corners.
Sure, okay, but the pressure was there.
Yes.
Regardless. And when they didn't send a blitz, it was still there because apparently there are 3 defensive linemen who apparently are the greatest defensive linemen in the league.
Two, fat white guys. And
sure.
Tony Romo said one of the best nose tackles in the league, so I don't know.
Sure. I like Tony Romo, so I don't really have anything to hate against him. But he knew it too. He was watching this game, and to be honest with you and to me and to everybody else, Tony Romo sounded really disappointed calling this game.
He loves Josh Allen.
He loves Josh Allen. He loves the Bills and what they've done. Yeah. But I heard a noticeable difference in his voice when he talked about the Bills because I think he really did want to see a great game.
Everybody wanted to see
wanted to see a great game, but to be there and calling it, that's an honor for those guys sometimes.
Yep. Yeah.
You know, and Tony Romo was a good quarterback in the league. He's not great, but he was good. He made it to the playoffs. We all know he botched a snap on a field goal attempt and whatnot. But to noticeably hear a difference in his voice when talking about this game, it's like, yeah, that's exactly how we all felt watching that game. We all hung our heads. We shook our heads. I was at a bar. The entire bar was silent and just shaking their heads the whole time.
Joe Burrow is a great quarterback, but again, the offense, did he impress me? Sure, with hitting wide fucking open receivers that no one's covering.
I can make those throws.
And it's not that's not a slander towards Joe Burrow.
No, it's not at all.
He's great, but how the first 2 touchdowns were wide open receivers.
Yeah, both of them. And Jamar Chase, 28 yards, wide open.
Jamar Chase, the top 2 receiver in the NFL.
He caught the ball, and there was still nobody within 8 yards.
It was ugly.
He walked into the end zone. Hayden Hurst snuck out on the side, wide open. You know,
I think Hayden Hurst was a huge signing for them.
Big time.
I mean,
people forget. I always liked Hayden Hurst.
That dude's a first-round pick of a tight end.
I had him on majority of my fantasy teams this year. And don't get me wrong, he put up some stinkers, but he wasn't Travis Kelce, Dallas Goedert before he got hurt, Dalton Schultz down the stretch, George Kittle down the stretch.
But people got to remember that Hayden Hurst was a first-round draft pick of the Baltimore Ravens. They picked Hayden Hurst at 20th overall and then traded back up to take Lamar Jackson.
Right.
They took Hayden Hurst before Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
That's the kind of talent.
Unlucky for him because he could have been Mark Andrews in that offense.
Yeah. But
Mark Andrews kind of emerged, and he was like, all right, well, I'm not going to re-sign here, and then went to Atlanta for a little bit.
So that
played great there, too.
Yeah. And then they went and got Kyle Pitts, and he was like, what the hell? Yep.
But finally found an offense that works for him.
So I know I gave Bengals a lot of shit this season, and it's still like more on the coaching and the play calling,
Right.
and the fantasy output. So if you look at like Jamar Chase's finish, it's tough to say he had a good season because he got hurt,
He did.
but he was like okay,
But he still had a
fine.
good season.
And like T Higgins was fine.
was
You know, it's just like they're not. I don't know. I just wasn't as hype of him. Joe Burrow's great. I mean, Joe Burrow makes all the throws, but we literally gave it to him. Adam, who just joined us.
Hey.
Let's.
Pickles on my pickles.
She is very concerned because Jay's not here.
Yeah.
She keeps jumping up on Jay's chair.
She's hoping that he's going to show up, but he's not there.
He's not there. So it was just like that was my whole thing with the Bengals this year, and maybe it was just a little jealousy of them getting to the AFC Championship game and winning it, and not us. But they
maybe.
proved they're the fucking better team. Let's break it down, Adam.
Yeah.
Let's go player for player right now. Let's go with the Cincinnati Bengals. Okay. Against the Buffalo Bills.
Sure.
Quarterback.
Better. Not better.
Push.
Push.
say
Even.
push.
I might give it to Josh Allen because he has a better ability to run,
Sure.
and he's a little bit bigger.
Pretty close.
But it's almost a wash.
Running back.
They definitely have a better running back.
Receivers.
Better.
Okay. Offensive line.
Apparently better because our offensive line couldn't block anything.
Defensive line.
Apparently they were better because they only had to rush 3.
Okay. Tight end. Push.
I would say Dawson's pretty even with Hayden.
And then secondary, I guess us, but
I would say us if Micah Hyde's back there.
so how do we think we're the better team? What makes us think we were the better team?
But we won more games.
One, right?
We won more games, Chaz.
Yeah, one more game.
We won more games.
I'm not impressed with the Bills this year in there. What was it, 13-3? Were they? Was that the
yes.
final record? I am okay, I get it. 13 games are hard to win. But I'm not impressed with the Buffalo Bills bullying the New England Patriots.
Yeah.
And the Miami Dolphins and the New York Jets. And I get it, the Dolphins and Jets beat us once. But still, that's 6
Barely.
games of the season. They also bullied the Rams. How good did they finish the season?
The Rams?
Yeah.
Terrible. 6
Okay.
6-11.
They also bullied the Titans. And did they make the playoffs?
did not.
No. So, like, the Bills bullied a lot of bad teams. And actually, in those bad games, they usually play down to their opponent.
Agreed.
And I get it. They beat the Chiefs. Good. I mean,
Yeah.
they tend to play up sometimes when they have to. But,
Well,
like, I'm just not happy with this season.
What do you think what was the Bills' offense best game this year? Was it against the Titans when they put up 40-plus points? Was it against Pittsburgh early on when they manhandled them?
Another not great team.
Right. Okay, but the Jets weren't great. Lost to them once.
Sure.
Okay. Barely beat the Dolphins twice. Right?
Right.
Who else did we lose to? I can't remember.
Minnesota.
And they got bounced
And
out
they
of the
shouldn't
first
have
round.
lost that game.
And they shouldn't have lost that game. But
be fair.
I mean, Justin Jefferson made a great catch.
Yeah. I mean, they shouldn't have lost that game.
And, you know, people are like, oh, my God, Cam Lewis, why are you trying to go for the interception? Because that's his job.
Right.
It's literally his job.
Yeah. I don't know. The best offensive output of the season, maybe maybe week 1, even 2, 1 and 2. They went on a bad.
Yeah, week 2 was
downfall.
the Titans game. So and then
Actually, it's probably that Miami game.
So
we were good in that first Miami game.
we had like 500 something
Yeah.
yards of offense and lost by 2.
Yeah, we were good in that first Miami game, but then it was
So-
downhill from there.
Yeah, I agree. Now, would you blame Josh Allen's injury? Because I wouldn't.
I wouldn't, but we don't know.
I don't think that he played.
He was thrilled. He still was making great throws,
But he was making awesome throws. Drops by Davis all season. Drops by McKenzie all season. We
sucking too.
we sucked on third down.
These
We were one of the worst teams on third down. And we had no running game the first half of the season, and then we started to kind of turn it up a little bit. And then in a game where you should have been running the entire time, we didn't run at all. We had 63 yards rushing.
But Adam, we should not build a dome, right? We got Josh Allen. I'm not saying a dome we would have won that game.
No, I don't.
But like,
I don't know.
This team just frustrates me. And I said this during our struggles in the middle of the season, and I'm bringing it back up. We were high on our own supply. We believed in all our own bullshit that we had good players. That Gabe Davis was a breakout player, and that Isaiah McKenzie was a breakout player. They're not. They weren't.
They weren't.
They're not. And Dawson Knox wasn't until the end of the year.
Agreed.
And thankfully
And-
he
and-
came back. And he had a lot on his plate.
He had a lot on his plate
Yeah.
with his brother passing away,
Yes.
and R.I.P. Luke. But we didn't throw him the ball the first half of the season.
No, and I get that. And then even on defense.
So is that a Josh Allen thing? Is that a play calling by Ken Dorsey thing? I think it's a little bit of both. But the shitty play calling that Ken Dorsey called all season, we didn't execute the shitty plays, but they were shitty plays. So how do you execute a shitty play with more? It's just more shittiness. That's really all I can say about it.
I mean, as mad as I am at Ken Dorsey for being a shitty play caller,
Sure.
I'm just over Leslie Frazier. I've been over him for years. I'm so sick of this bend but don't break defense.
Yeah, the non-adjustments and just letting play.
Just bend but don't break.
Sorry, guys.
Bend but don't break. Bend but don't break. It's so annoying.
I know.
And the one thing I'm majorly sick of for is is Brandon Beane, Sean McDermott, and their whole culture. I get it, but I'm so sick of we need nice players, we need good guys, we need smiley, cute boys out there. We need more players that have big smiles. And I don't mean to single out these players, but players like Greg Rousseau, Jordan Poyer, Matt Milano, these players that could be almost fucking like models.
Right.
Right? And those are good players, and I don't mean to season them up. But this is like their mentality of players. Trey White is like this too.
Yeah.
Just their smiles, they're cute boys.
McKenzie.
They could be McKenzie, Deion Dawkins. These guys could be models, and they're not hard. Our defense is soft, and I love Jordan Poyer, and I don't mean to call him. He's part of the defense. He's part of the soft defense.
A lot
the
of missed
defense in
tackles
general
last night.
is soft.
A lot of missed tackles yesterday.
And like you can be like, no, Milano played great all year. Okay, but the defense in whole is soft. It's a soft defense. There's no nastiness. The only nasty player we got in defense is Ed Oliver, and you don't see him out there smiling and making TikToks and girls swooning over him, do you?
No.
No, and he's
No, I
out there usually making plays. Well, not this week, but
Nobody made plays this
in
week.
general. Even Von Miller, I love Von Miller, bro. He's a smiley boy that just wants to be on camera. And
He is, but he's a tough player.
He is tough.
And
we lost him.
And his loss hurt us bad. On the pressure front, we went from the 4th ranked team on pressures to when he got hurt to the 26th through the rest of the season.
Yeah, I mean it did hurt, and we
It hurt us a lot. And Micah Hyde not being back there too hurt us a lot.
Micah Hyde is bigger than people realize.
I agree.
And plus, and DeMar.
And yeah, DeMar Hamlin not there was a huge hit. Don't get us wrong, guys. We're so happy that he's okay.
Yeah,
okay.
No, him being
not
out,
what we're taking.
I mean, him being out was a hit,
him being out was
a hit to the team
a huge hit to the
because
team.
Dean Marlowe's not good. And I remember
He
like when
definitely
we
was
traded
not.
for him and people were excited. I'm like, will you guys stop
Yeah,
with Dean Marlowe already?
yeah,
Another cute, smiley guy.
yeah. True.
Like, it's just annoying. Why don't you get some nasty fucking players in there?
Yeah, I agree.
I don't understand it. Why can't we have some? Just because he's a mean, nasty player, that doesn't mean dirty.
Nothing.
Why can't you be on the team? Why do they all got to be cute boys? I'm just, it's so annoying. Like, get some nastiness. I don't have an answer to it, but think of somebody like Odell. Odell. I mean, I know he's, I'm not saying cute doesn't mean like attractiveness. By the way, it just means like their attitude.
Right.
Odell doesn't have that cute attitude.
No, he's a hard player. He says what's on his mind. He gets into it with coaches, players, all that.
And you know who else is like that? Stephon Diggs.
Yeah. And
that's-
people ripped him apart
Yeah.
for being so upset. Oh, he's a diva. Oh, he did the same thing in Minnesota. Stop it. He's not that type of player. He's a very, very competitive player,
Yeah.
just like Josh Allen is.
Right.
And Stephon Diggs, for him to express his anger and frustrations on the sidelines, yeah, he should.
Yes.
And, okay, should he have left the stadium right away?
No.
Probably not. Probably should have stuck around a little bit.
That I don't
But
agree with.
his emotions were flaring.
Yes.
He was upset. He was hurt. He knows they played like shit all around. The entire team as a whole. Like, this wasn't just offense this, defense. No, it was offense was bad, defense was bad, special teams was bad. There was a couple punts that Cincinnati had that we actually somehow stopped them. There was nobody within 20 yards of the returner.
It was so bad.
He had it was bad. They could not beat our gunners. Just couldn't get around the Bengals players. There was nobody within 20 yards of their return guy.
And this is a tough time, too, because we're hitting a wall here, folks, of we're out of money. And all y'all Matt Milano stands out there are going to be happy to see Tremaine Edmonds leave. That's going to suck.
Yeah, huge.
This dude's going to go out and be the highest paid defender in the NFL, and all you Matt Milano stands will be happy, and our defense is going to get much worse. And that's not a slight at Matt Milano. It's you guys thinking he's so much better than Matt Milano.
Mm-hmm.
They're both awesome. They both play different positions, and they are one of the best tandems in the league. We're not going to be able to resign Trey Edmonds.
Well, Josh's contract kicks in.
Mm-hmm.
Knox's contract kicks in.
Trey's is a big contract.
Trey's is a big
and
contract.
He sucks
is a
right
big
now.
contract.
Trey's horrible right now.
And Trey White, whether it's mental or physical, he was not the same when he came back.
He needs. I think he can come back, but he was not ready.
I agree.
And I'm not saying cut him, but I mean, if we're being objective here, we're not thinking as a fan. We're just thinking as an objective, like media person. He sucked.
Yeah, he was bad down the stretch. And like I said, I don't know if it's mental, physical, both, whatever, but
you're losing Edmonds. You're probably losing Poyer. You're not going to have a lot of room to sign anybody. You need receiver help. You're going to have to move a contract. So, like, best thing you can do, Bills, is try to resign Edmonds and then maybe trade him.
Maybe.
If that's the thing. Like, Poyer's not going to gain any interest because he's in his, like, almost mid-30s.
Yeah, he'll be 33 this year.
Like, he'll sign somewhere if he's a free agent. Mm-hmm. But, like, people want Tremaine Edmonds.
Sure.
Like, he'll be the highest paid defender in the NFL. Well, one of them. Sure. One of them. Because Roquan Smith just got a big deal.
Yeah.
But, like, that's, like, where it's going to be for this defense. So now we're losing our defensive two captains.
Yep.
And that's going to suck. But you know what? The defense sucked towards down the stretch anyway.
Agreed. And that's partially because of Leslie Frazier.
Yeah, Leslie Frazier needs to go. And he's not going anywhere. They're not going to make a change.
I don't think they will.
Because he's probably a nice dude.
And neither will Ken Dorsey.
I'm more about getting rid of Frazier than Dorsey. As much as I thought Dorsey sucked, like, I get it. It was his first year. But here's the difference. And me and Jay were talking about this. Ken Dorsey has Josh Allen. If Ken Dorsey was sitting there in anywhere else, right? If Ken Dorsey was sitting there in New England with Mac Jones and called those plays, he'd be fired right now.
Agreed.
Josh Allen had good stats this year. Why? Because he's Josh Allen.
Right.
And sometimes people...
I mean, he was second in passing touchdowns.
If you think about it like this, here one of the best offenses in the league is Kansas City, right? Yeah. Eric Bieniemy has been their offensive coordinator for years. Nobody's hired him. Why? Is it because people want to say because he's black and because the NFL's racist? Maybe. Or is it because he has Patrick Mahomes and that guy makes him look good? Probably.
Yeah.
And maybe the NFL scouts realize that.
Yeah.
That guy is a good offensive coordinator. He's not a head coach. Patrick Mahomes is making him look good. It's the same thing with Ken Dorsey right now because Brian Daboll they gave a chance to, and he turned the Giants around.
Yeah.
Ken Dorsey and Brian Daboll are not the same.
No, not at all. And I think for me, you know, we ragged on Brian Daboll too a little bit last season, but he did a great job in New York.
And they'll be like, well, the stats were eerily similar. Sure, because it's Josh Allen.
Yeah.
But you cannot look at this team this year and last year and say they looked the same.
I agree.
You just can't.
They were definitely not the same.
And you can't look at this in 2020 and say they were the same.
No.
And the fact that, like, they won't do anything, they won't sign anybody. They let Isaiah Hodgins go, and then they go, oh, you need help, Josh? Let's get 97-year-old receivers you had 3 years ago.
Right.
Like, that's what we're going to do. Why? Well, they're good guys. I'm sick of good guys. Yep. I'm sick of these good guys. Get a fucking dickhead in there.
Yeah, we need some guys that have some fire and just hard-nosed players, man. There was a lot of missed tackles last night. There was just bad defensive play calling last night. Guys were wide open in the middle of the field, 10, 15 yards. Joe Burrow's longest pass was the first Jamar Chase touchdown, 28 yards.
Yeah.
That's all he threw all day. That was his longest pass.
Literally dinked and dunked right down the field.
And that's all they needed to do.
And because and maybe he shouldn't.
Don't even get me started on the defensive line. Joe Mixon went untouched 5-6 yards every time he touched the ball.
And every play was basically an off tackle up the middle.
Yes. It was ridiculous. And of course I love the Bills. Well, you love the Bills. Everybody in this city loves the Bills. But if you watch that game and we're like, yeah, we were okay. No, you're not a fan of football.
And this is going to dunk on Trey Edmonds, and this is going to dunk on Matt Milano. They're so good at linebackers and stopping the run. Not yesterday, or not Sunday.
Not yesterday.
That's both of them.
Nope.
That's both. An easy Milano stands. I get it. He had a sack. Whoopty fucking do.
Yeah.
One
sack.
Trey Edmonds, they're supposed to be great linebackers stopping the run. No, they didn't. Right? And and if you want to say, well, Matt Milano's more of a coverage player. So what does he cover? Intermediate routes in the middle of the field. Where did they fucking tear us up?
Intermediate routes in the middle.
So he wasn't there then either.
Nope.
So it's these players, I believe, just are high on themselves. They're fucking high on themselves, and they let the defending AFC champions come and punch us in the fucking throat. And no other team deserved it more than these fucking Bills, I think.
Agreed.
Because it showed it.
Yeah, they definitely did.
Showed it. They took this team lightly as fuck.
Oh, yeah.
They were not ready.
No.
I think their whole game plan was to stop Jamar Chase, and you couldn't even do it.
And they didn't do that.
The guy had 2 touchdowns, 1 taken away. That was an iffy call.
Right.
And you couldn't even do that. So good. Good. I didn't get my call of 150 and 3 touchdowns. Congratulations. You got murdered still.
Right.
Because you underestimated everybody else on the team.
Watching that game, you think that Joe Burrow threw for 350. He didn't.
No.
He 249.
He started the game 9 for 9 with 2 tutties.
Mm-hmm. His first incompletion, I think, was the Jamar Chase questionable.
Which I actually still to this think is a touchdown. It could have been worse.
I thought it was. And then a couple different angles. Sure, you can argue otherwise, but give me a break. Nobody knows what a catch is anymore anyway, so it doesn't matter.
That's much. Okay. Let's get
off that.
Let's just get off the negativity. Let's get off the negativity. You got Josh Allen locked up. Apparently, that's all you need.
And you got Diggs.
We'll see.
And you got Knox.
Well, Diggs is getting older, but he's also unhappy.
Well, yeah, I would be too after that one.
So you got Knox. You got Josh Allen. You don't have Devin Singletary on your contract, which is
James Cook.
You got James Cook, and even if you were, I would be okay with resigning Devin too.
Sure.
I would definitely be okay with going after somebody like Josh Jacobs, but we can't afford it.
No.
So it's not going to happen.
Not after the season that he had.
So then it's if you're looking for somebody with a little more power back that can move piles, it's Devin Singletary. Mm-hmm. So you might want to hang on to him. But I don't know if they can.
I don't know.
That's the problem. Then you go in.
Yeah, they're going to be up against the cap this year.
They need to do something with receiver. Nate Gary, WGR, had a great idea of a second-round pick and Gabe Davis for D-Hop. What would you think about that?
I would love that.
I would love it, but there's no way we can afford that.
No, we can't afford DeAndre Hopkins. No way.
Unless he wants to win and takes a cut.
Sure. I guess. I mean, maybe we give him... I mean, there's no way that he accepts the veteran minimum for wide receiver.
No, but not make $20 million, maybe make 10.
Sure.
Now, there's not... I don't have the thing in front of me here, but there ain't no good receivers coming in free agency.
Yeah,
I think the number one receiver for age is Michael Gallup.
Yeah, it's a tough...
You might want to sign somebody, but they're not your answer.
Yeah, it's a tough free agency this year, I think. I don't have it in front of me either, but I know that there's not that many.
I don't know. I mean, they're not afraid to make trades, though.
No.
D-Hop might be a big splash. There might be another splash out there that could help, maybe Terry McLaurin.
Right.
Because that team is... two
name changes in 3 years? Come on.
We can't compete with these teams in the NFL if we don't do something.
Eric Wood said it earlier today. I don't know if you were listening to WGR, but he was on the radio with Shope the Bulldog, and he was talking about Josh Allen's in the prime of his career. You have to build talent around him.
Yes.
You have Diggs, great. Davis, we saw who he really was. He dropped a lot of passes this year. Isaiah McKenzie was not the guy. Everybody loved McKenzie because, they did karaoke Fridays in the locker room and blah, blah, blah. Cool. You also love that, but you also hated on Juju Smith-Schuster for doing his little TikTok dances.
Right. Yep, you're right.
And guess where he is?
In the AFC Championship again?
again.
Here's where the NFL's headed. If you guys don't think, what do say the Miami Dolphins and the Philadelphia Eagles and the Cincinnati Bengals, and we'll say Kansas City-ish too have in common?
Great receivers.
2 elite receivers, Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, right?
Yep.
And you got the best pair in the league, I believe, of
A.J.
A.J.
Brown and Devonta Smith.
You got Travis Kelce and Juju. I mean, Juju's not up there, but Travis Kelce makes up a lot of ground
Sure.
for that.
Sure. I wouldn't say Juju's elite, but
No,
he's certainly great.
And then when they were even more powerful, they had Tyreek and Kelce. And then you got Higgins and you got Chase.
Yeah.
And 3 of those 4 teams are still alive?
Yeah.
What about who's one of the other teams like San Francisco? Do they have 2 elite people in Debo and George Kittle? Pretty much,
Probably, yeah.
right? We don't have 2 elite, and I know we love Dawson Knox. He's not elite.
No.
He's really good.
He's really good.
So you can't put him in the elite.
No.
And obviously, Gabe Davis is not elite.
No.
So something needs to be done here. They need to do something. It's not even about 1 receiver anymore. It's about 2.
Yeah.
That's what the NFL is right now.
Yep.
You're going up, and I know, like, for some reason, Philly never looks impressive, but when they line up and it's like, do I double Smith? Do I double Brown? And then what's going to happen with Goddard? Like,
and they have good running backs. They have Jalen Hurts, who's a great runner as a quarterback, and then Miles Sanders he had a great season this year.
I still think he's great.
I don't like Miles Sanders, and listen, I've had him on fantasy teams, and he has just done me dirty 2 many years in a row. Of course, I ended up with him on one of my teams.
They need to bring in a receiver. They need to bring in a veteran receiver. They need to make a trade. I don't even care. What they need to do is trade for a veteran receiver and draft one.
Yeah, I agree.
Move Davis, move McKenzie, but I don't know if they have any value. Davis might have some value.
Davis might, if he can be like a 3rd or 4th.
I don't know, man.
Maybe a 3rd. Probably a 3rd.
He'd be a fine
wide
3rd receiver. If you brought in D-Hop, and you had or McLaurin. If you had Diggs, McLaurin, and Davis, that's fine.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
That's totally
no
fine.
doubt, 100%.
And then Shakir.
But I agree. I totally agree with Eric Wood. Josh Allen's in the prime of his career. This is going to be his 6th year, and you have Diggs. Great, but we have to stop relying so heavy on Josh Allen to make all the plays, to run, to throw, everything. Like I said, Diggs is great, but he doesn't have another option. No, and everybody thought it was going to be Davis, and it wasn't this year.
We're silly for thinking that.
Sure, everybody was. Everybody thought, McKenzie, he's finally going to get a chance to be in that Cole Beasley role. Well, guess what? On most of our 3rd downs, he dropped it.
And it was never open.
Because he doesn't have separation speed. He doesn't have anything.
In this past game, 35-year-old Cole Beasley looked better than McKenzie.
Yeah, he did.
And I'm okay with resigning Cole, too.
Sure, absolutely. Something that we needed. I mean, we've talked about this before, but, you've talked about Crowder. We didn't see him all season.
And I think he's still under contract.
He is. So we'll have him next year.
He's not a number 2, though.
No, he's not a number 2.
They just need to do something or they're going to get left in the dust.
They just need that. They need to bring in another receiver. They need to bring in some big offensive linemen that got some grit that can block somebody, because they didn't block anybody last night.
Yeah, and the offensive line was a struggle all season.
True,
but it's like, then do something about it.
Right,
like Spencer Brown is a mean, nasty guy, but he's also not very good.
Yeah, he struggled and he was hurt for a little bit, but even when he was in there, he got beat a lot, and yeah, we just need some hard-nosed guys. Look at Dallas. Dallas has one of the best offensive lines in the league.
They got all banged up, though.
They did, yeah. But they also have 2 great running backs.
Yeah, they have a great offense,
and they have a pretty good receiver in CeeDee Lamb, and they have a good offense in general. They brought in T.Y. Hilton. Yeah, I know he's older, but he had some breakaway speed still, and Michael Gallup's a big guy, and we don't have that. We have Gabe Davis, who, he showed flashes last year in the playoffs when, great. He can make toe line or toe tap catches on the sideline. He didn't do that this season.
No. They were high on their own supply.
I agree.
They're so intent on building from within.
I agree.
And
One thing about the Bills game yesterday.
yeah. And like I said, I was a little harsh with some of my words.
Sure.
It was a good season, but it's not because we were the favorites to win the Super Bowl from everybody. And we lost
the beginning.
in the divisional round.
Again,
It's
this time to Cincinnati.
sickening. It's just so sad. It's so sad.
It really is. And, you know, we're going to be sick about it. I don't know. Maybe another day. Me, anyway.
I'm over it because I saw it coming.
Yeah.
I'm not even care about the game. I'm just mad at the team.
You know, we definitely took it for granted.
And like, I'm sad that fantasy's over. I won some money, at least on daily.
Hey, I won some money in my fantasy leagues. I won one. You won one. I had a couple top 3 finishes. So my fantasy season, I would call it a success. You definitely would. But it's going to be hard to draft guys on the Bills outside of Allen and Diggs.
True. And like maybe Josh Jacobs if we get him next year, or Saquon Barkley.
Yeah, and even those late picks when you're like, oh, I need a wide receiver. I guess I'll just pick up Davis. Well, Davis went in
Fifth round?
sixth round in a lot of drafts that I was in. He certainly didn't put up numbers like those.
I drafted him as number 2 in our Fantasy Football Bros League. He was my number 2 receiver. He was my number 2 receiver over Chris Godwin. I took him before Chris Godwin. Chris Godwin started the season late, injured, and had over 100 catches. Do you realize that?
I know.
Like,
Guess who he had as quarterback? Tom Brady, who had a down season, don't get me wrong, but he was still pretty good.
so that's where Davis was in people's
Agreed.
minds.
Yeah, I agree.
And when I drafted him, you were pissy about it because you wanted him.
I did want him.
So like that, we were both there.
Yeah, I 100% want him.
And I almost wish I let you have him.
I'm glad you had him.
Even though I won.
You did win, and I did not.
But I just won because I raked your brother over the coals with Devontae Smith.
Who? Oh, country music
So
superstar.
country-
okay.
Who still owes me $100, by the way.
Yeah, we'll get it.
Maybe. So like that's where I am on the Bills. We haven't really talked much fantasy, but there's not much to talk about going into next year. What do you think going into next year is going to be like the biggest surprise? A player on a different team,
I think
something like that.
The biggest thing for me is going to be probably. I mean, I hope that they bring in a really nice running back, but I don't know if they can. I hope they can bring in a nice receiver. I don't know if they can.
And I don't mean you to focus on the Bills. I just mean in general.
But
in fantasy football, is there going to be a player move, free agent, trade?
I definitely think Josh Jacobs is probably on the move. He had a contract year this year with the Raiders, and he played lights out. He was the number 1 rusher in the league this year. I think that. I guess maybe that won't be a big surprise, but it's definitely going to be different not seeing him on the Raiders.
I think they might re-sign him.
They might. I mean, yeah, I guess, but
And if they don't, where do you think you'd be?
I don't even know. I don't even have an answer for that. But I think another big surprise for me might be I don't know if Baltimore can keep Lamar Jackson. So I think
insane.
that would be the biggest surprise for me if he
that's
goes
true.
to a different team.
That'd be insane.
It would be
That would
so
be
dumb
insane.
for them to do that.
And you don't even like him, and you know
I
that.
don't like him. You're right, but he's also their best player,
Like, yeah.
literally.
And you want to talk about
And they have
nothing around him?
They have no receivers. They have no running backs because Lamar is their running back.
He's got it way worse than Josh.
But he definitely has it way worse than Josh Allen.
They probably wish they had Gabe Davis and Isaiah McKenzie.
Probably.
To be honest.
Because they're definitely... I mean, Bateman had a decent season in the beginning, and then he got hurt. And what did they have after that? Devin Duvernay? Cool.
That's your boy. Sammy Watkins.
For a little bit. Well, they brought him back. That's right.
Yeah, they had him at the end of the
But,
season.
I mean, your running backs, they constantly keep getting hurt. Dobbins, Edwards. You had Kenyon Drake for a little while. Like, they were destined to not make the playoffs this year. They were.
What I think...
But I'm going to go with Lamar Jackson as my biggest surprise.
Where's he going to go? Jets?
Maybe
That's
the
what everyone
Jets.
says.
I don't know. That would be
Suck.
wild.
I'd
That
hate
would
that.
suck for us, for sure.
Even though we usually beat him.
We do, but still. But the Jets have a good defense. And now pairing them with a good quarterback because Zach Wilson's not him.
Here's a question for you. Did the Las Vegas Raiders lose their starting quarterback this year? Yes, right?
Yeah,
He's
definitely.
done, right? Okay.
Yeah, Derek Carr. Yeah,
Is
Derek
there
Carr's not going to be.
is there a pending free agent that had very, very big success with Josh McDaniels before, who's now a free agent and wants to win and wants to go to a big city?
Probably.
And does he have 6 Super Bowl rings?
Probably. Weird.
And probably the best receiver he's ever had sitting over in Vegas since Randy Moss.
True.
And the league leading rusher as of now, sitting over there.
True.
And his boy, the coach.
Josh McDaniels. Weird. I don't think that would be a surprise to me, though, if he goes there.
I mean, of course, I would be happy as a Raiders fan.
Sure you would.
But not just that.
But it's certainly not out of the question.
We've stated this before. The 2007 New England Patriots was one of the greatest offenses of all time, spearheaded by Tom Brady and Josh McDaniels.
Absolutely.
And I said this earlier, and I was making the comparison. Randy Moss, well, you got Devontae Adams.
Right.
Wes Welker, well, you got that other white guy there.
Hunter
Renfrow. I almost said Hunter Henry.
He
right?
got hurt this season, though, so he
Right.
didn't really have
So you got a couple of
year.
similar weapons. You got a much better running back as of now anyway,
Yep.
which doesn't really matter. And you got Darren Waller,
Right.
which that 07 team didn't have.
No.
So, I mean, I was hopeful that would be like Derek Carr this year, but if you put Brady over there, this guy was NFL MVP last year, in my opinion.
I agree. I agreed with you. He had more yards, more touchdowns, and somehow Aaron Rodgers got it.
So, you put him on the Raiders right now in that division. You don't think the NFL wants that? You don't think the NFL wants 2 games of Mahomes versus Brady?
Of course they do.
2 games of Herbert versus Brady?
Of course they
2
do.
games of Russell Wilson over Brady?
Who?
Unlimited.
Mr. Unlimited.
I mean, they don't want 2 games of Justin Fields.
No.
So that's my big thing for the offseason. Of course, as a Raider fan, I want it. But at the same time, I don't, because right now Brady's finally in the NFC.
Right.
So that's nice.
Let's not bring him back to the AFC.
Right.
Please.
But I just think I think the writing's on the wall for that.
It's definitely there. And you're right. And we harp on Josh McDaniels for not being a good head coach, but man, he's a hell of an offensive coordinator.
Sure. And if he brings in Tom Brady's going to be the coach.
Pretty much.
Right?
Pretty much.
It's just I see that being a big offseason move. And it's interesting to see where D-Hop's going to go.
Yeah, I don't know. I heard that your boy Trey Lance wants to trade out of San Francisco.
Well, it's funny because everyone thinks Brock Purdy's the next Tom Brady, but Kyle Shanahan's literally considering starting Jimmy Garoppolo. So relax, everybody.
I agree.
You know what I mean?
I agree. But for Trey Lance to come out and be like, I want to be traded.
I don't think he officially ever
I don't think he ever said it. I think it was speculation.
Yeah.
But that would be wild to me too.
The guy,
I think.
you can easily say the guy never had a fair chance.
Ever.
Literally hurt after one rainstorm game.
Sure.
This year.
Yeah.
And look what Brock Purdy, who doesn't have anything special, is doing.
Yeah.
Right?
But that's, is he good? Sure. But he also has Deebo Samuel, who can catch a 5-yard pass and take it 87 yards.
Well, here's the thing about different teams. And I was explaining this to somebody, the Bills are a good team. I don't know if that's true. And here's what I mean. The San Francisco 49ers are a good team.
I agree.
The San Francisco 49ers have a third-string last pick in the draft quarterback in there, and they're winning games.
Yeah.
How good would the Bills be with Case Keenum starting all the games?
Well,
Not 13-3.
If Ken Dorsey's calling plays, probably not that good.
And I think that's where we need to check ourselves and realize maybe the Bills aren't that good of a team. Maybe we're Josh Allen led.
Well, we definitely are.
You know what I'm saying?
And we definitely saw it this season.
Look at that Kansas City-Jacksonville game the other day. Pat got hurt. Chad Henne, who's capable. I like
Sure.
Chad Henne.
But Jacksonville let him score
98-yard drive.
98-yard drive.
That's a good team.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that happens with the Bills.
No, I agree.
Honestly. And that's scary, and it's hard to pill to swallow as Bills fans.
Yeah, it definitely is. Like I said, we're all hurt. We're all upset. We're all disappointed, but I think a lot of Bills fans' anger is pointed at the wrong people. They like to focus on certain things, like the Diggs thing, and get over it. We played terribly.
You're right.
All around, regardless of the play calls, regardless of anything that went on the sidelines, blah, blah, blah. We played terribly. And we deserved to lose that game 27-10.
I'm not saying it's there yet, but if we're keep dunking on the coordinators and the way the team is built, when is time to point the finger at McDermott? I'm not saying fire him. I'm not saying any of that. And he's the first one to be like, no, blame it on me. It's my fault. Well, you know what? I'm taking all accountability. How about you actually take accountability and say, these other coaches need to take accountability?
Right.
Because you don't coordinate the offense, but maybe you do the defense a little bit. But you don't coordinate the offense.
I agree.
It's easy. It's actually easier for you, Sean McDermott, to say, no, blame it on me. It's my fault. No, blame it on your coordinators.
Yeah.
Blame it on your players once in a while.
Give them some accountability. Seriously.
It's just like Sean McDermott is the master of coach speak.
Right. He says all the right things at the press conferences. And so does Josh Allen, and so do all these other players. They say all the right things at the press conferences. So
literally, I love Josh Allen. He's the best quarterback in the NFL, maybe.
Sure.
I listened to his press conference, and I just wanted to bitch slap him when they go, well, we'll talk about their one play when it's like 3rd and 1, and you threw a 30-yard bomb. Oh, the execution wasn't there, blah, 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 blah. And they're like, well, what do you think about the play call? Well, I'm not going to say anything about the play calls. They're great. We just didn't execute. Shut the fuck up, Josh Allen. Get a little bit of balls.
Yeah.
You're not going anywhere, bro.
Yeah,
you're here.
Out, man. Like we're the one that has
You're
to
the
run
leader.
The plays. He tells you the plays.
You're the leader.
Yes, I agree. You are the leader of this team, and you are going to be for the next 6 years.
So, like, grow little balls, because I get it. Maybe you don't do that in the press conference. Okay. Because if he did it, it'd be controversy.
Sure,
fine. But Ken Dorsey's nothing without Josh Allen.
Agreed.
So,
anyway,
I don't know.
Let's move on from the Bills. I
There's really nothing to talk about.
I think we talked about it all.
I mean,
Chaz,
yes.
give me your thoughts on the Chiefs-Bengals game coming up. AFC Championship. Now, not in Atlanta.
Right.
Back in KC.
I think it's a different outcome.
You think the Chiefs win?
Yeah.
I think the Chiefs have a lot of fire.
I think the Chiefs have a lot of fire.
A good team, but the Mahomes injury.
Well, let's clarify. They have a lot of fire. Their defense is playing pretty well.
Sure.
But Mahomes is injured. But at the same time, we said this in the middle of the season, the Chiefs are a better team without Tyreek Hill right now.
True.
They really are. They were, 14-2?
Yeah.
So, like, we've been kind of underestimating them.
Well, 14-3.
14-3, that's right. Yeah, that's right. 14-3. Yep, you're right. They lost to the Bills, the Bengals, and the Colts.
Again.
I just think it's gonna be a different outcome. I just do. The Chiefs were taking things for granted last year.
Your opinion really doesn't matter.
Thank you, Jim Irsay. The Chiefs were kind of the cock of the walk, taking their chip. It's different this year.
I agree, but Joe Burrow is undefeated against Patrick Mahomes.
It's true. That's
and
true.
the Bengals beat him again this year.
It's true. Do you beat them twice? Hey, the Bills beat the Chiefs last year in the regular season.
They lost to them in the divisional round. I don't know. I guess my thoughts on that one would kind of be a little similar to yours. I think the Chiefs take it. I think they just do. But you can't deny the fact that Burrow plays great against the Chiefs.
It's true. Burrow plays great against everybody for the last 8 weeks, 9 weeks.
Agreed.
Except the Ravens.
So, true. They're back up, by the way.
Yeah.
All right, so we're both on the Chiefs then, I think.
And then you're going NFC?
NFC?
I have no fucking idea, dude.
Eagles, Niners.
I have no fucking
NFC
idea.
Championship.
No idea.
In Philadelphia.
As much as it's easier to say Philadelphia against a third-string Brock Purdy, I mean, it's more than just Brock Purdy, though.
I agree.
So, yeah, they got they Debo is a fucking animal.
Sure.
Kittle's playing like an animal.
Agreed.
Christian McCaffrey is like
The best running back in the league.
insanity.
He's pretty much a cheat code.
And their defense is just as good. Probably better.
I was going to say, who's got the better defense?
It's close.
I think it's close, but I think the Eagles have better secondary. I think the Niners have a better front line and linebackers.
Yeah, it's close. And it's no contest that the Niners have the better coach.
Agreed.
That is, you want to talk about coach of the year? How could it not
Shanahan?
be Shanahan?
Right. I mean,
Just
look
because
what he
Sirianni
did.
had a couple more wins, that's how he's going to get it?
I don't think so. I think it has to be. I think it has to be Shanahan. I mean, look what you said, third string, last pick in the draft, Brock Purdy.
Yeah.
And he didn't lose a game
No.
when he started. Well, maybe one.
I guess I'm going with
One
the
again.
Niners.
Yeah.
I think I'm going with the Niners.
I think I'm going with the Niners too. And I think it's solely based on they have a better pass rush.
So if that's the case, that's a repeat.
So we're looking at Niners, Chiefs, Super Bowl.
That's a repeat from 3 years ago.
Yeah. And
Wow.
that was when the Chiefs won.
That was Mahomes and Garoppolo, which could be again.
Might be.
This
Well,
Niners team's way better, though.
I agree. I think this team is better. I mean, how do you start Garoppolo over what Brock Purdy has done for this
Because
team?
Garoppolo was just as good.
I agree, but
Right?
I think I still would give the edge to Garoppolo. But does that mess with the psyche of the players, their mentality going in? Like, oh, sorry, Brock, great job, but
But at the same
handsome
time,
Jimmy's going to go in there.
but at
for
the same
game,
time,
for
isn't
the
that
big game?
Isn't that Brock's job?
True. Yeah, I mean that's
backup
like,
quarterback?
he
What
wasn't
about-
he wasn't even supposed to play this season.
What about when Frank Reich got the big comeback? Who started the next week?
Yeah,
Jim Kelly.
yeah,
So it's like that's what happens. But
I agree.
There is a difference between Jim Kelly and Jimmy Garoppolo.
sure.
So
Big time.
Brock Purdy and you know what? Brock Purdy might be more talented than Jimmy Garoppolo because Jimmy Garoppolo's not that good.
I don't think he's that good either.
So it's just like,
He's got a good team around him.
yeah,
And he's got a good coach.
yeah. It's like the talented one's Trey Lance. That's why Trey Lance was the one they were running with. Brock Purdy was their third option.
Right. That's
They
what I
knew
mean.
what they had. Like
Brock Purdy wasn't even supposed to dress for any of these games. Trey Lance goes down and it's like, oh, Brock, suit up.
yeah,
And then, okay, we're going to roll Jimmy. Jimmy gets hurt.
yeah. And they're
Brock,
in the NFC
Brock,
Championship.
you're in. And here they are, the NFC Championship.
The Eagles just feel like a team that's going to collapse. I don't know why, and they haven't yet. But they talk about an easy playoffs.
Yeah, no kidding.
The Giants, come on,
Giants, I mean,
they
what was
whooped
that
them
game?
twice in the season.
Twice in the regular
You know,
season,
like,
and then they
easy.
beat the hell out of them.
Easy peasy. Now you got it, but now you're getting. And here's the thing: everyone says the Eagles have an easy schedule anyway. Well, now you're getting an NFC Championship game, yeah, against the third string quarterback.
Right.
So it's like the Eagles do have that.
Yep, 100%.
So
100%.
it's interesting to see. But I guess I'm going now. Yeah, I guess I'm going Niners Chiefs.
I would agree with you there. I'm going to go with that as well.
And then sad to say, I think the Chiefs might take that one.
That would be tough. I just think
But we're not there yet. So
we're not there. We'll talk about it after the game, maybe.
maybe if I let you back.
I'll be back.
Adam, I'm starting a new channel.
Are you?
Yeah, you can find it on YouTube starting, I don't know, maybe this week, next week.
All right.
It's going to be called
What do we,
Chaz's Rock Record Review.
Oh, all your vinyls.
All my vinyl, you guys liked, I got a lot of good response and views on the last video and podcast we did. Probably because you weren't on it,
I didn't watch it yet.
and you weren't on it.
I'm terrible. I also wasn't on it.
So people like that more.
Probably.
So like instead of flooding the football timeline,
I'm just
with
here
a
so everyone
bunch,
can find.
instead of flooding the football timeline with all this music stuff, we'll have a separate, we'll have a separate timeline for all that.
Yeah, definitely.
But we'll still do some weird shit on here during the
Yeah,
offseason.
maybe when there's big news when players get traded or
This ain't going anywhere. We'll get together.
No,
we'll
we'll be here.
we'll put shit out.
Yeah, we'll be here.
We'll do something random,
We know you guys love seeing our lovely faces every week,
or at least hearing
every
our
other
voices.
week, or our voices. We
Listen.
have soothing voices.
We do. Hey, hey, baby, how you doing, girl? Yeah. Hey, Aaron Rodgers, how you doing? Okay. All right. Stop. I'm sorry. Stop. You.
Aaron, please. I mean, your season was over a long time ago. Please.
It was the Lions.
You
We
beat
get
the
it.
Lions.
I reformed this bumble.
Yes, you did. Congratulations. Enjoy the not play. Now that's an offense I'm looking forward to see next year.
Lions?
The Lions.
I am too.
Healthy Jameson Williams of
Yep.
the whole season. Healthy Swift. Health. Goff is playing pretty good. St.
far.
Brown.
Yeah.
It's exciting to see. And they have a top 5 draft pick because of fucking Rams.
Yeah. And McVay will be back
For the Rams.
for the Rams. I don't know if they would have been any better, but losing Cooper Kupp definitely hurt them because they had
Yeah, but that was
they had your boy
towards the end of the season.
Allen Robinson to fill in, and then he got hurt.
But that was not even till week almost double digits probably.
Yeah, True. You're right. You're absolutely
they were
right.
hurt with. But what I'm saying
they
is,
were hurting
because
before.
of the Rams being so shitty, the Lions have a top 5 pick because of that trade.
Yep, I
like,
agree.
what a fucking trade.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I'm looking forward to them. I never hated the Lions.
No, I never did either. I just
So,
I'm
and
a
then-
Swift guy, and it just
know.
never made sense
Yeah, agreed.
to me. Is the whole thing? But I'm a big Jameson Williams guy,
Yeah, I drafted him in a lot of my keeper leagues.
and he had
Late.
one big play. I think he had 2 receptions all year, and one was like
touchdown.
a 70-yard touchdown.
Oh yeah. So, but they couldn't play him really, honestly, in my opinion, coming off the injury
No.
and just
It's
they threw him in that game and he had a great play and they were like, okay, we know what we got with this kid.
So you're the Chicago Bears, okay?
Oh goody.
Feels so good.
Or the first overall pick.
Ooh. I don't think they go quarterback.
They got to trade it. They got to trade it because here's
I
my
think
thing.
they go defensive lineman.
Maybe, but I think you got to trade it because Bryce Young is a sought-after quarterback,
Yes.
way more than Justin Fields ever
And
was.
if he's not picked first, he's definitely going to Houston.
and he's way more sought after than Justin Fields ever was.
Oh, sure.
So maybe you make that pick, or maybe you trade Justin Fields. But like either way, you trade Justin Fields and take Bryce Young, or you trade away that pick because you'll get a fucking haul for that pick.
Agreed.
You will get a haul for that pick.
Agreed.
Because Bryce Young is the most like sought after quarterback since like Burrow.
Right.
Well, no, since Lawrence.
Lawrence.
So like, because there was nobody last year.
Yeah.
And in the year of Lawrence, that was where Fields came in. And I think Fields is terrible. I also don't think C.J. Stroud's very good, but that's because Ohio State quarterbacks suck.
Well, I mean, Alabama quarterbacks aren't that great either.
They're getting better.
They're getting better.
I mean-
Tua's good.
Tua's doing good. I mean, Mac Jones is okay. Jalen Hurts. I know
That's
Oklahoma, but he was Alabama too.
Right.
So, like, it's different. But I don't believe in C.J. Stroud. I never have. I don't think Stetson Bennett's going to be a pick because he's so old. He's Josh Allen's age.
Yeah.
Josh Allen was drafted 5 years ago.
Yep.
But you never know. And then what about, I don't know, I haven't really researched too much, but then there's the TCU kid,
Oh, Duger.
Duger. He could sneak into the first round, but he's probably more like a third.
Not after that Jordan
Second
game.
or third guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, he could sneak in. I mean, Paxton Lynch went in the first round.
True.
You know what I'm saying? So somebody could buy into him because
Wasn't he a Denver Broncos pick?
that's true. That's true. But like Duger could Dugan. What's his name?
Kyle Duger.
Duger.
Duger's
No, Max.
Max. Oh yeah.
Max
I'm sorry, not Kyle. Max Duger.
He could end up being a first, second, third round pick, but I don't know yet because this is like he's from a small school. TCU's greatest quarterback of all time before him is Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton was a second round pick.
True.
He's a little more fiery than Andy Dalton.
No,
He's
Andy
more-
Dalton's boring.
He's more Josh Allen-y than Andy Dalton.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? So you never know. I don't think he'll be like a top 15, 20 pick. But you never know.
I don't know. Let's pull up the top of the draft list right now.
Like a mock draft.
Yeah.
Yeah, just pull up a random mock draft and see how many quarterbacks are in there. So a way too early mock draft.
Right. Let's see. Bucky Brooks, NFL.com.
He's always good.
He is.
I think he's a former Buffalo Bill, by the way.
I believe you're right. Okay, so we have it's Chicago, Houston, Arizona, Indianapolis, Seattle. Those are your top 5 picks this year. And
Quartile.
yeah, that's not- Chicago, they're saying is going edge rusher.
Okay.
Will Anderson from Alabama. Houston's going Bryce Young. Arizona, defensive tackle, and they're saying C.J. Stroud's going to go forward to Indianapolis. And then Seattle is also taking...
Your opinion really doesn't matter.
Okay, do we have Max anywhere?
I am looking in the first round,
I just only care about the first round.
and I am only seeing 3 quarterbacks so far.
Who's the third?
Oh, 4 quarterbacks. Hold on. Okay, so the third quarterback they're saying is going to Carolina. Will Levi from Kentucky.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Will Levi.
And then we don't have another quarterback pick until I just saw it. The Baltimore Ravens choose Anthony Richardson.
Oh, Richardson.
Pick
too.
22.
Oh, well, that's
from
fucking
Florida.
That's like just like Lamar Jackson. Actually,
Yeah.
to be honest,
And then
I don't think Richardson's a first round pick, but you never know. Justin Fields was a first round pick.
right. So those are the only quarterbacks in the first round.
It's interesting. I don't think Richardson's a first round pick, but I mean he fits right in.
I didn't see the name. I forgot to look, but they said the Bills are taking a wide receiver.
Oh, good. Thank you.
Yes.
Thanks,
please.
thanks, Buck.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Bucky. At least you have some sense. And they'll be like, we're taking another defender. Leslie Frazier needs help because literally every first round pick's a fucking defense except Josh Allen.
Right.
Am I making that up?
No, you're not.
Since we had them, Trey White, Josh Allen, but also in the same round, in the same draft, Tremaine.
Jermaine Edmonds.
And then
Is that Ed Oliver?
Ed Oliver was 20. I forgot who 19 was. Ed Oliver was 20. AJ Epineza was the second round pick in 21. Kyer Elam was 22.
Yeah.
And I forgot who 19 was. But
I just had it in my head too. Oh my god.
Alexa,
Where was Rousseau?
Alexa, who did the Bills draft in the first round of 2019?
From BuffaloDown.com. The Buffalo Bills started the 2019 NFL draft by landing Ed Oliver at
Okay, Alexa, shut up. That's what it was. Oliver was 19. Oliver was 19, and
Where was
Rousseau?
Rousseau? Okay, I was gonna say.
So every player other than Josh Allen in this whole regime has been on Leslie Frazier's defense in the first round, the first pick.
Sure.
Because Epineza was second round.
Don't get me wrong. They have been great. Up until this year.
Let's help the offense. Well, just a little.
Yeah, agreed.
Please.
Yes.
Please, just a little.
Let's get some guys in here that Josh can build a rapport with and be great.
Well, Adam, I have a song of the week.
I like it.
Given our feelings right now.
Yeah.
This song is from the band Real Big Fish, and this is called Another Fuck You song.
I like it.
Because that's what I'm feeling right
Yeah,
now.
no doubt.
Anger and like fuck it all.
Yeah, for
fuck
sure.
it all. So thank you for joining me, Adam.
Thank you for having me, Jazz.
Jay, thank you for not being here. Hopefully you're back in next time. Yep. This team song. And if you noticed, he's not here, so we didn't have much pickles.
No pickles. She's over there on the couch, that she always is.
Just like a little potato.
Yeah, pretty
A
much.
little potato over there.
Yeah.
I don't know about next week, but I'll release something next week, whether it's us or I'll just do a quick video or something. But something will be out there. And for everybody at home, if you're gambling out there, good luck. You know, daily fantasy this time of year is still fun.
It is. I agree. A lot of good players to choose from.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you guys do the Underdog app, but they have a lot of one game, like 4-person drafts. So super cool to get into. They have one on there now that it's a 4-player draft, you and 3 other guys, and you choose from all 4 teams in the playoffs still, which is really cool. So,
I stopped using Underdog because I
everybody-
fucking suck at it.
I know, I'm terrible at it too.
It's hard.
But the pick'ems are hard, but
Yes.
the drafts are fun.
Yeah.
So I use it for that. I just did one today, actually. I'll read my team, who I drafted. I was unfortunate enough to have the 3rd pick, so I did not get... Oh, where is it? Is this it? Okay. I did not get Mahomes or Jalen Hurts or Christian McCaffrey.
Yikes. So I
Actually,
guess.
I'm just kidding. I got Christian McCaffrey.
Okay. Let's take you to your third.
Yeah, so I took McCaffrey with my first pick, and then I took Jamar Chase next, and then George Kittle and Dallas Goedert, which left me with Brock Purdy as my quarterback,
Birdie.
and I have Kadarius Toney as well.
He's been stepping it up.
He has. So I like my chances this week. As long as Brock Purdy can put up some points against the Eagles, I might be okay. I did take the best tight ends left in the in the conference championships here with Kittle and Goddard. Somebody took Hurst, which is fine, but I also have Jamar Chase. So
True. Well, good luck with that.
thanks, man.
And just one more little drop for old time's sakes.
Hey there, little fella.
You want
Yeah.
one? You can touch it.
Yeah, big might be a big signing if they get Sean Payton,
I'm not worried about him.
but I'm still
He sucks.
It's still Kyler Murray.
Yeah.
So
He's
and if they trade DeAndre Hopkins, then
he's Russell Wilson Jr. I mean, that's all he is. I've said that since he was drafted. He's Russell. He's short. He's quick. He can throw long bombs to wide open receivers.
Sure.
That's all they both can do.
Sure. So,
That's it.
and they signed Marquise Brown in the offseason with the trade from the Ravens. But yeah, if they trade DeAndre Hopkins in the offseason, then he's got nothing.
That's true. Well, we'll talk about him more at a later time. Thank you for joining us, everybody.
Yeah.
And we'll see you next time. Peace.
Later, guys.
You are now listening to the Fantasy Football Bros Podcast.